race which is so great as the Volvo Ocean Race, and all the best sailors want to be here, and I want to fight against the best.
Yeah, this race is probably the most epic thing you can do as a sailor.
I don't know why you do this race if you didn't know what you were getting yourself into.
It's got to be one of the most extreme, sporting events in the world.
It's your ultimate race, ultimate competition. There is no better race.
You have to be pushing 100% of the time.
The race destroy you, destroy your body, destroy your brain. You get exhausted, but you can't give up. You have to push again.
I mean, it always goes through your mind that things could go terribly wrong.
It's on the edge. It's all under control, but when it just tips over the balance, it can go horribly wrong.
It's a game, but it's a dangerous game.
Now watching it, don't take your eyes off him.
I have a man overboard situation.
You know, I will regret doing this race for the rest of my life.
Jornada de competición en Alicante, España, y 7 equipos internacionales se enfrentan para continuar con un legado de 45 años embarcándose en la regata de sus vidas. Ganar la Volvo Ocean Race significará haber dominado a tus rivales a lo largo de 9 meses bajo una presión constante. 45.000 millas náuticas de intensa competición. El recorrido parte de Alicante, España, y circunnavega el planeta en 11 etapas a través de los océanos más peligrosos del mundo antes de terminar en La Haya. Cada equipo compite en un monotipo Volvo Ocean 65, barcos de última generación fabricados en fibra de carbono y capaces de mantener velocidades por encima de los 25 nudos. Son idénticos en cada detalle, lo que garantiza una competición igualada. La victoria dependerá de la habilidad y determinación de sus tripulaciones. Uno de los favoritos antes de la regata era el equipo español, el Mafre, que llegaba muy bien preparado después de un año de entrenamiento. Su patrón Xavi Fernández soporta el peso del orgullo nacional. Ningún equipo español ha ganado la regata en 10 intentos. Su objetivo es cambiar eso.
Winning this Volvo Ocean Race will be very, very important for me personally, for the team and for the whole country. We will fight every day to try to win this race.
El Dongfeng Race Team chino sorprendió en la anterior edición finalizando tercero pese a no entrar en las apuestas iniciales. Charles Caudrelier regresaba como patrón, esta vez con aspiraciones de victoria, y llegaba a la salida con el programa de entrenamiento más extenso.
The preparation of the race, I think, is the key. I think if you want to win, I think 50 or 60% of the job you do it before the race. It's not about money, it's about time. And even if you have a lot of money, you can't buy time.
El primer equipo inscrito llegaba liderado por un veterano de la regata que debutaba como patrón, Simon Timpunt, al frente del holandés Tim Axonobel. Tomó la arriesgada decisión de sacrificar tiempo de entrenamiento antes de la salida para construir un barco nuevo.
When I finished the race with ABN AMRO 2, I mean, I was 23 at the time. Wow, you know, this has been a thrilling experience and I want to do this race again and I really want to win it.
También desde Holanda regresaba Tim Brunel, liderado de nuevo por el patrón Bauer Becking, un hombre que ha pasado las 3 últimas décadas intentando ganar el trofeo. Su mejor resultado fue la segunda posición de la anterior edición.
Yeah, this will be my 8th attempt to win the race, and up to now I've been beaten in all the races. Even that we got very good and satisfying results, but a winning will be a really nice icing on the cake.
Igualmente repetían como patrones los estadounidenses Charlie Enright y Mark Will, debutantes en la pasada edición, competían esta vez con un nuevo patrocinador, Vestas 11th Hour Racing. Su objetivo, sacar partido a su experiencia para mejorar la quinta plaza.
There's always a drive to come back and improve, and that's a collective one between Mark and myself, but also a personal one that kind of burns inside me.
La única patrona de la regata participa al mando de un nuevo equipo, Charles Tidon Plastic. Di Cafari compitió en la pasada edición como parte de un equipo íntegramente femenino y cuenta con un currículum cargado de vueltas al mundo. En esta ocasión lidera una escuadra formada principalmente por menores de 30 años, muchos con poca o ninguna experiencia oceánica.
They actually have no idea what they're letting themselves in for. And that's a huge responsibility on my shoulders. I know they're going to be scared at times. I know they're going to be worried at times. I'm actually quite excited by it because they don't know to be afraid.
Completaba la parrilla el Team Sun Hun Kai Scallywag, la primera campaña de Hong Kong. Algunos los consideraban el comodín de la flota. El patrón David Witt, un inconformista que llevaba 20 años soñando con participar en la regata.
As far as the team goes, I think we're generally a bunch of mates having a crack, you know, where everyone's there for each other and we've got some pretty talented guys and time will tell.
Para todas las tripulaciones, el día de la salida debía ser todo emoción y expectación. Pero antes del amanecer, una figura a bordo del Team Akzo Nobel presentaba un panorama bien diferente. Simon Timpont fue el primero en alistarse 2 años atrás y debía llegar a la salida de Alicante con la mejor preparación. Pero una semana antes de la salida, el holandés era sustituido como patrón por desavenencias entre el patrocinador y la compañía que dirigía el equipo. En una turbulenta semana, un proceso judicial resolvía en favor de Timpont, que recuperaba su posición de patrón el mismo día de la salida.
That week, of course, was highly emotional, and I think especially for the guys that were working for me, it was highly emotional of what was happening with their future. And the majority of the team was there. The short team did an unbelievable job to make the boat ready, but the only thing is that we were 1 guy short.
Pero su regreso había tenido un coste. 3 de sus tripulantes más experimentados decidían no navegar con él apenas horas antes de comenzar la regata.
Last moment we got Antonio from Scallywag. And he was more than happy to come on. So just when the ceremony started, he pulled one shirt off and put the Akzo Nobel shirt on. And when we were all on board and the Dockout song started to play, I told everyone, this is the moment we're going to enjoy. This is the moment that we can put everything besides and do what we really love.
Para todos los participantes, comenzar la Volvo Ocean Race supone un hito en sus carreras. Para ellos lo único importante es ganar, y en cuanto cruzaron la línea de salida de la etapa 1, todos los equipos mostraban su hambre de victoria.
It's great, you know, it gives you butterflies. You know, I grew up in the States practicing shooting free throws in a basketball game with like no seconds on the clock. It's kind of like that moment. It is all a big sport, for sure.
This is it, 7 polished professional teams pushing every inch to win. The gun is gone, and that is a great start. Get us started, starting everyone. Only run them along. Come on up. Stopping now. 45,000 miles of depressions, cyclones, doldrums, battling the elements. This is the test of sailors, adventurers, and racers. This is the start of the Volvo Ocean Race.
The first night of the first leg of the Volvo, so ready to keep on going.
La etapa 1 fue un sprint relativamente corto de 5 días hasta Lisboa, en Portugal. Un suave calentamiento comparado con lo que estaba por llegar. Vestas 11 Hour Racing no tardaba en mostrar su excelente estado de forma y se llevaba la primera victoria de etapa.
You can't ask for a better start. You know, it's a 45,000 mile race of which we've sailed 1,500 miles. You know, luckily for us, we've been awarded 10% of the points, you know, for that small chunk of sailing. But we'll take them and learn from it what we can, and then again just get back to work, and you know the focus is on leg 2 now.
Tocaba entonces navegar hasta Ciudad del Cabo, en Sudáfrica. Una etapa de 3 semanas y 7.000 millas hacia el hemisferio sur.
The forecast is wet and wild.
La meticulosa preparación del Mafre comenzaba a dar sus frutos y el equipo español llegaba primero a Ciudad del Cabo. Pero los debutantes a bordo del Charles Dayton Plastic quedaban conmocionados tras su primer contacto con la auténtica competición oceánica.
Water everywhere, walls of water washing the crew off their feet, and everyone was like, wow. They didn't believe how wet and how full on it was straight away.
We took windward to go and get the halyards tied off, and just as the wave came, the wave took me out.
They were close to being broken on this leg, and that was an easy leg. And the next 2 legs are big legs back to back. And if they don't recover now, they're literally just going to get worse and worse, if you know what I mean. So mentally is half the battle.
La etapa 3 sería la primera de doble puntuación y llevaría a la flota hacia Melbourne, en Australia. Para llegar a destino iban a tener que adentrarse por primera vez en el temible Océano Sur, el lugar donde la regata forjó su reputación.
Those southern ocean legs give an extra dimension because you're so far from land. You're in a vulnerable spot, but also in a little bit of sailing paradise.
It's usually a very bad sea state because a lot of current, big wind, big wave, and it's one of the toughest legs of the Volvo Ocean Race.
No tardaría en confirmar su reputación y en cobrarse su peaje.
Right now I cannot do nothing with the arm. Pretty painful.
It's like a burning pain. I was on deck grinding on the aft pedestal and a big wave came and it pushed me into the guard wires at the back. At the moment I just can't really walk on my right leg.
Y no se trataba solo del coste humano. Un océano cruel e implacable castigaba constantemente los barcos. Pese a una turbulenta salida en Alicante, Team AkzoNobel lo había estado haciendo bien. Se encontraba en el grupo de cabeza, pero el equipo holandés iba a tener que afrontar otro duro golpe.
We had a jibe on in pretty hard conditions and had a bad one. The worst part is we've pulled the track off the back of the mast.
La etapa 3 se había terminado para el equipo de Team Pont.
Probably the toughest moment was when the first repair didn't work and then it's still blown 45 knots. Those are the moments that you have to run, I guess, a little bit harder than the rest and really take it on.
Completadas las 3 primeras etapas, quedaba claro que comenzaba a cumplirse un patrón. Los equipos con mayor experiencia y mejor preparados dominaban lo alto de la clasificación. Mapfre, Dongfeng Racing y Vestas 11 Hour Racing ya habían competido en la anterior edición y se mostraban fuertes. Mapfre acababa de anotar su segunda victoria de etapa. Su sueño de convertirse en el primer equipo español capaz de ganar la regata parecía ir tomando forma, pero el patrón Xavi Fernández se mostraba pragmático.
It's been a super good leg for the leaderboard, and I know that the points we are taking now, they are very important, but the biggest mistake we could do is just to think that we're going already in the good direction and the others are fighting for the second.
I think we can clearly see that maybe 3 boats have a bit of advantage, but this advantage is going to be less and less important, I think, because we have smart guys against us and they are going to improve during the race.
Pese a los 30 años de experiencia de Bauer Becking, el comienzo de campaña del Brunel distaba mucho de las expectativas. Al término de la etapa 3 estaban en mitad de la flota.
We just don't know where the issue is and we have to look again really deep into all the options, how we can improve.
3 días más tarde que los líderes, Team AkzoNobel llegaba a Melbourne para afrontar una carrera contrarreloj para conseguir reparar su barco a tiempo para la salida hacia Hong Kong.
It was a tough leg for us as a team mentally. You know you're in a weak position competition-wise. Yeah.
Las 3 primeras etapas de la Volvo Ocean Race habían visto a los equipos con mayor experiencia y preparación colocarse en cabeza. Mapfre, Dongfeng Racing y Vestas 11 Hour Racing eran primero, segundo y tercero respectivamente. Los debutantes con menor experiencia todavía estaban buscando su sitio. La primera incursión en el Océano Sur había sido implacable. Un número sin precedentes de cambios de tripulación era anunciado para la siguiente etapa. Varios equipos afrontaban plazos muy justos tras los daños sufridos en la etapa. Entre ellos Team AkzoNobel, que luchaba por reparar el carro de su mástil.
It's tight and with any unforeseen issues, and right now still there's the rest of the rig to inspect after what it's been through, but right now time on distance it looks pretty good. But again, you just got to one step at a time.
La etapa 4 llevaría a la flota desde Melbourne hasta Hong Kong, una nueva ciudad sede para la regata, y por primera vez en la historia participaba un equipo hongkonés, el Sun Hung Kai Scallywag. La etapa de 5.600 millas náuticas suponía el desafío más importante de toda la regata para un equipo privado. Su patrón, David Witt, solo había logrado cerrar su inscripción 3 meses antes del comienzo de la regata, pero pese a la falta de preparación, se mostraba confiado.
Everyone's going to say that we're no chance because, we're not Dongfeng, we haven't been sailing together. But when it comes down to it, the guys that are sailing on the boat on Scallywag would have done as a team together way more miles than these boys together. They're all good sailors, but they're all still coming together as a new team. We've been going for over a decade, and that's actually going to be a big advantage over the other teams and why I think we're a seriously real chance to win the race.
El núcleo del equipo viene de la tripulación con la que navega a bordo del Supermaxi de 100 pies de su patrocinador con el mismo nombre de Scallywag. Varios de sus tripulantes son íntimos amigos.
Known David on and off for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years, and ever since then we've pretty much done every Hobart together. We've talked about him doing this race his way as a skipper, and he's gone out, worked very hard to raise the backing and get himself in a position where he can come here with his own team and do it how he'd like to do it. And now we're up here doing this, so just another adventure with Mr. Witt.
Pero las cosas no habían ido como se esperaba para Scallywag en los primeros compases de la regata, muy descolgados de sus rivales en las 3 primeras etapas y quintos en la provisional. La confianza de Witt comenzaba a desvanecerse.
It's a new place for the team to be in, right? We're getting our head kicked in, becoming a little bit embarrassing, which is bloody hard this race. And the opposition are bloody good.
Y parecía que sus prestaciones no mejoraban. Tras más de una semana en la etapa 4, el líder de la provisional, el Mafre, iba en cabeza. Scallywag en última posición, 30 millas por detrás. El sueño de Witt de llegar primeros a su puerto base parecía hacerse añicos.
We're more worried about trying to find a passing lane between here and Hong Kong, because we can't finish here into Hong Kong. The story of the Scallywag life, all or nothing here at the moment. So we just came to the conclusion that the weather routing was a fugazi, it wasn't real, and we would basically try and sail VMC, so we would sail as fast as we can to Hong Kong, and then, well, we just got stronger and stronger.
En solo 72 horas, lo que inicialmente parecía un movimiento arriesgado había funcionado. Sun Hung Kai Scallywag conseguía dar la vuelta a toda la flota.
Sun Hung Kai leading.
Who's the leader? Who's your daddy?
Basically, the only way we're going to lose it is if we park up and stop.
Out of the way! Can you see him best?
You see the yellow in the line of this yellow?
It was a millisecond and I looked and kind of knew that there was a wave coming and basically just threw me off. Just got caught off guard pretty much.
Can you see him?
No, it must be here. I got a ping. I put a ping in.
We lost him, couldn't find him, and seriously couldn't find him for quite a few minutes.
Scan 100 meter left and right.
Hold, just hold.
You're doing 20 knots, so the boat can potentially sail miles away from you pretty quickly, so you can become out of sight in seconds, really.
You might be below us.
Where? Okay, stand by attack. On the runners. He's a runner. They're going shaking. Now watch you, just don't take your eyes off him.
I'm watching.
Up there. Okay, engine on. No. Hey, Tristan, on the transom. Show me the line, son. Show me the line. Help. Hey, throttle, go.
Get the line in.
Starboard tack. Starboard runner on design.
And I think it just showed everyone how hard it is to actually see the guy in the water. You know, you wouldn't want to be trying to do it in 20 knots in the dark. I don't think you'd find him, you know.
Got more worried about it once we got him back on, and you realise how it could have very easily gone the other way.
More knots wind and black, you're dead. Okay?
Había faltado poco, pero pese al tiempo perdido con la maniobra de recuperación, todavía conservaban el liderato en la aproximación final a Hong Kong. Había sido una auténtica montaña rusa para los Scallywags, pero conseguían anotar su primera victoria de etapa y Witt apuntar un hito en su carrera.
If you had to pick a leg to win, this is the one we wanted to win. This is what our whole program was about. There is no bigger than this in my career. This is awesome. Have a 20-year dream to have your own team and then win a leg, and then win a leg for your backers in your own country, you know, in your own stop. Doesn't get any better, mate.
Mientras seguía la celebración en el Pantalán, 30 millas mar adentro, la batalla por la segunda posición estaba a punto de finalizar. Vestas 11 Sauber Racing apuntaba a la meta por delante de Dongfeng Racing y Mapfre y se preparaba para asaltar la segunda posición de la general. Se trataba de un logro meritorio, más aún teniendo en cuenta que Charlie Enright no había podido navegar en la etapa, lo que obligó al director del equipo, Marto Will, a ocupar el puesto de patrón.
You guys are sailing well, certainly out of the blocks hot, and then it looks like finishing strong, so you can't ask for more than that.
We've been on the boat for 19 days, right? And here we are trying to plan our last sail change to sail the last hour and a half to the finish, cash in on another podium finish, and all of a sudden you're in a whole new reality.
This is domestic development operation. We are on a collision with a fishing vessel. The other vessel is potentially sinking with people in the water. Assistance required.
Overheard Vestas on the VHF saying that they've had a collision with a fishing boat. We don't know what the situation is at the moment.
El Team AkzoNobel y el Dongfeng Race Team les seguían muy de cerca.
This is quite badly damaged.
They require medical assistance for the people on the fishing boats.
这里是东风 Race Team.
We can see you on the AS. Do you want us to come and rescue you?
I think we can sail to them, yes.
There were 10 people on the fishing boat. The fishing boat has sunk. 9 people were rescued by Vestas. 1 person has been rescued by the helicopter.
Tras horas de intensa búsqueda y rescate por parte de la tripulación del equipo y de las autoridades chinas, todos los pescadores locales habían sido recuperados del mar. Lamentablemente, uno de ellos había perdido la vida. Su etapa se había terminado, sus vidas cambiadas para siempre.
You get off the boat and you look at this massive hole and you can only imagine, what happened or what the situation is with the other vessel and their crew and all their families. And I know how difficult it's been for me and for our guys. I can only imagine how hard it's been for them. Yeah, loss of life is a heavy thing. It's a heavy, heavy thing.
Desde Hong Kong, la Volvo Ocean Race ponía rumbo a Guangzhou para completar una regata import. Suponía la 4ª visita del evento a China en los últimos 10 años. Tras ello, de regreso a Hong Kong y vuelta al modo oceánico.
Here we go, the start of leg 6 from Hong Kong to Auckland, New Zealand.
El Vestas 11 Sauber Racing estaba ausente, con daños e incapaz de competir. El barco transportado a Nueva Zelanda para ser reparado con la esperanza de poder reincorporarse para la siguiente etapa. Pero no había certeza de que pudieran conseguirlo a tiempo. Los otros 6 equipos invertirían 20 días en recorrer las 6.000 millas a través del Pacífico hasta Auckland, pero iban a ser las últimas 24 horas las que concentrarían la competición más igualada hasta el momento. Los novatos de Dicafari a bordo del Charlie Theodon Plastic habían alcanzado su mayoría de edad y luchaban al frente de la flota, aunque bajo una presión constante.
The nightmare is over my shoulder, where we've got Dongfeng and Mapfre now breathing down our necks. From being 120 miles behind, they've just caught up, which is just gutting.
Mapfre y Dongfeng demostraban su pedigrí, enganchándose al grupo de cabeza a medida que la flota se aproximaba a Auckland.
Can't believe Dongfeng and Mapfre are there. No justice in that.
Sin embargo, el acelerón de los 2 barcos rojos llegaba demasiado tarde. Apenas minutos separaban a Team AkzoNobel y Sun Junkai Scallywag en su aproximación final a meta. El equipo liderado por Simon Timpon se anotaba su primera victoria de etapa, un momento de euforia para la escuadra holandesa, teniendo en cuenta sus problemas iniciales.
It's unbelievable hard to win a leg. It's a little crown on very hard work over the last 2 years.
Para el Charlie Theodon Plastic solo 5 minutos separaban el éxtasis de la agonía. El equipo menos experimentado había estado muy cerca de un puesto de podio, pero se le escapaba con la meta a la vista.
I don't actually even know what to say. So we went from deciding what colour step we could be on and our first podium finish to 5th, which is absolutely gutting because the leg we sailed was pretty good.
A falta de 5 etapas, Mapfre conservaba el liderato, con Dongfeng segundo muy cerca pese a no haber ganado ni una etapa. El equipo privado Scallywag era la sorpresa. Estaban en racha, ocupaban la tercera posición y se convertían en un serio candidato.
When we turned up in Leg Zero, the level that Dongfeng and Matt Free operated at was quite daunting. Back then, they were arguably the two best offshore racing teams in the world at any level. But, you know, we're there.
El Team Brunel de Bouwebekking tenía problemas. Una serie de resultados mediocres le llevaba a ocupar la sexta plaza. El sueño de Bekking de ganar por fin la regata en su octavo intento iba convirtiéndose rápidamente en una pesadilla.
I think we have to be very honest to each other. What is the aim? Just looking in the long term, I think if we start first looking at third place on the podium overall, that's a very easy job. Let's say that way. We're only 6 points out from number 3.
El Vestas 11 Hour Racing era otro equipo que luchaba por recuperarse. Su barco había sido reparado en Nueva Zelanda durante la etapa 6, un enorme esfuerzo logístico en un lapso de tiempo muy justo. Pero aunque el barco parecía listo para competir de nuevo, la pregunta era, ¿lo estaba también la tripulación?
There's no formula for how to best deal with these things, so we've kind of let everybody do what they thought was best for themselves. And the result of that is that we came back together as a very solid group, respectful of the past, but also respectful of the future and the elements that we were about to face.
En la parada de 3 semanas en Auckland, toda la flota de VO65 recibía una revisión completa tras 27.000 millas de dura competición. Barcos y tripulaciones necesitaban estar al 100% para lo que les esperaba. La etapa 7, la más larga, la más peligrosa de toda la regata, 5.000 millas de puro océano sur en una serie de frentes de bajas presiones acechando alrededor de la Antártida preparados para golpearnos.
For me, the Southern Ocean is, you know, it's the best sailing in the world and the worst.
To barrel off a wave with 37 knots, 3,000 miles from the shore with water, that's freezing cold. That gives a huge adrenaline kick, you know, and to feel that you're in control with uncontrollable elements of nature.
Well, here they go, the one they want to win, but the leg the sailors fear the most around Cape Horn to Itogi, Brazil.
Tras la salida de Auckland, la flota se sumergía directamente al sur hacia el extremo de una zona de exclusión de hielo antes de poner proa a Cabo de Hornos, a nada menos que 4.500 millas de distancia, atravesando uno de los océanos más inhóspitos del planeta. Su inaccesibilidad provoca que sea un área muy poco conocida desde el punto de vista científico, por lo que cuando los equipos de la Volvo Ocean Race navegan por sus aguas, supone una valiosa oportunidad de recopilar información muy preciosa.
So this is our alien, our drifter boy. He weighs 20 kilos and we're about to deploy him into the Southern Ocean, where he's basically going to become a satellite for the ocean, and he's going to measure sea temperature, ocean swell heights and currents. He's going to work for about 400 days, and he sends real live data back to the scientists from NOAA based in Miami, Florida, and they will be able to predict better, more accurate forecasts.
So this is our microplastic analyzers. It's a series of filters that as the water goes through it, it traps any microplastics. We change the filters every 2 days, so we're up for a filter change at the moment. This is the first time a microplastic analyzer has been installed on any vessel. We had it running down the Southern Ocean, and it was pretty scary, the data that came back from there. It was the first time that they'd proven that there was actually microplastics that far south.
A medida que la cabeza de la flota avanzaba, las 3 décadas de experiencia en competición de Bouwebekking por esta formidable región comenzaban a hacerse valer. Por fin, Team Brunel consolidaba un sólido liderato, pero el estado de la mar empeoraba y el océano sur mostraba su peor cara.
This has been the toughest crossing ever I did in the Volvo Ocean Race, because all the time that we were in the Southern Ocean we had 30 knots or more. That I've never seen before, but here it was just game on every minute, every second of the leg.
Las condiciones continuaban deteriorándose. Sun Junkai Scallywag sufría 200 millas más atrás, quedándose aislado del resto de la flota.
That night it got quite bad, and in my watch I made sure I did the majority of the driving, which I normally don't do, and I knew if we just got to daylight it'd be a lot easier for everybody else to drive when it's daylight. You know, it happened just as I went off watch, you know, and I regret not driving for another 10 minutes for the rest of my life.
Hello, race control.
Yes, listen carefully.
I have a man overboard situation. The person's name is John Fisher.
We've just plotted it as well, so this is the latest position that MRCC have.
We could not see any further than the first wave, you know, because it's breaking in the boat. So literally you've got 5 metres of vision. You know, you've got an hour till you're unconscious, and then you've got 2 hours till you're dead, basically, so every second counts. And then we've got to go back to the MOB position on the computer where we've hit the button when he's fallen over. And then we started our search pattern.
If you fall off with doing the Volvo Ocean Race, then it's game over. Even though we all train for it, talk about it, practice it, when it comes to it, it's whole nother thing.
People don't realize how small is a guy in the middle of the waves. You can't see him.
I was just trying to think, what else are we going to do? And I said to her, how long has he been in the water? And to me, it felt like about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And she went 4.5 hours. That's the bit when I realised he was dead.
To go and say to my guys, you know, the news is it was Fish that lost his life and they haven't found him and they stopped looking.
You know, when you know that the search has been called off, and when you read the words "lost at sea," it's hard. It's really hard.
You know, we've seen again this race how it hits everyone so hard when we lose one of our own. It's and there's nothing worse.
John and I were best mates, and it was John's life dream to do this race and do this race with me. This whole team has basically become John Fisher, you know, confident, quiet, spoken, the loyalist bloke you'd ever meet. Put everyone, the team and everyone before him. Fish was a one-off, and you know, if I could trade places with him right now, I would, every day of the week.
Tim Scallywag se retiraba de la regata y ponía rumbo a tierra en Chile, todavía a más de 2.000 millas de distancia. Su futuro era incierto. El resto de la flota, todavía encabezada por Tim Brunel, continuaba luchando a través del Océano Sur rumbo a Cabo de Hornos, un hito en la carrera de todo regatista oceánico. Pero para Mapfre, doblar el mítico cabo no iba a ser precisamente como esperaban.
Got a little tear on the luff, and then 10 minutes later it's basically a split from luff to leech. Now we've got this severe damage, so we've suspended racing. We're heading to a bay to meet our shore crew, and we're going to have to try and get all fixed up in 12 hours and carry on.
It's quite tricky repair with the stuff, material we have here and the place we have to do it. But we're going to do all what we can and try to finish the deck.
Para Mapfre, doblar Cabo de Hornos supondría un contratiempo que hacía peligrar su liderato en la provisional. Para el resto de la flota, liderada todavía por Tim Brunel, Hornos suponía un momento icónico en su circunnavegación.
Sail Ship Tim Brunel, this is Chilean Navy, Hornos Control calling you, over.
Cabo de Hornos es una leyenda en sí mismo. El fin del mundo es patrullado por la Armada chilena, que se ofrecía a escoltar a la flota en su paso por el mítico extremo del continente americano. Siguiendo la estela de Tim Brunel había un grupo de 5 barcos encabezados por Vestas y Eleventh Hour Racing. La flota había conseguido alcanzar la relativa seguridad de sotavento de Cabo de Hornos después de uno de los cruces del Océano Sur más extremos en la historia de la regata.
Is everybody in a safe place back there?
I was in my bunk and I heard a big bang and I heard the boat violently heel to weather, and instantly I knew what had happened. Unfortunately, instantly I also knew the consequences of what had happened.
We can't really overcome this one now, but we can make a plan to go forward and try our hardest to keep in the race.
La tripulación del Vestas se desviaba a las Islas Malvinas en el Atlántico Sur. Su retirada suponía que sumaban 0 puntos en 4 etapas consecutivas. Lo que había comenzado como una campaña con potencial de victoria volvía a sufrir problemas.
When the rig fell down, it was disbelief. You know, you got to be kidding me. You know, it's unfair. But at the same time, it's what can you do?
Tras cerca de 3 semanas de intensa competición, Tim Brunel aprovechaba el infortunio de Mafre y conseguía defenderse de Don Von Reisteen en un duelo hasta la misma llegada. Era la primera victoria de los holandeses, un triunfo vital que les permitía ascender de la 6ª a la 3ª posición de la general provisional. Pero tras la pérdida de John Fisher suponía una victoria agridulce para el veterano Bouwebeki.
Ja, lekker maar triest. Natuurlijk met John, sorry. Dat zit er diep in.
En una exhibición de marinería, las reparaciones de urgencia del Mafre permitían al equipo español seguir navegando y terminar en 5ª posición. Pero para echarle sal en sus heridas, el segundo puesto anotado por Don Von Reisteen en Itajaí permitía al equipo chino arrebatarle el liderato.
Pressure is back on us, and we are only, today we are only 1 point ahead, it's nothing.
It's not ideal. It was a very important leg for us. In the other side, Don Fen did second and didn't get the point in the Cape Horn, so things could be worse.
De vuelta en las Malvinas, la tripulación del Vestas y Lebensauer Racing tenía que ser igualmente pragmática, recurriendo a su ingenuidad para mantenerse en regata por segunda vez.
Fortunately for us, the mast fell down when we were only 100 miles from the Falkland Islands. We engaged in a logistical nightmare to get the boat to Brazil and a position to start the next race and sail into our home port.
Una vez más, el equipo de Enright corría contra el reloj para reincorporarse a la flota antes de la siguiente salida, llegando a Itajaí bajo aparejo de fortuna y con la ayuda del motor. Serían seguidos pocos días más tarde por Sun Junkai y Scallywag. Ambos llegaban navegados por tripulaciones de transporte. La llegada del Scallywag fue muy emocionante.
We had basically all the other boats, crews there, all the Volvo staff there, everyone carrying every sail, every bit of gear off. We had other teams washing our wet weather gear down, we had other teams working on our boards. It was fantastic. It's what the race should be about.
A falta de 48 horas para comenzar la siguiente etapa, David Witt y su equipo tomaban la difícil decisión de continuar compitiendo en memoria de John Fisher.
If he was standing behind me right now, he'd be telling me to harden up. Don't be soft and get on with it, and that's what we're going to do on Sunday.
$5,700 nautical miles from Itajaí in Brazil to Newport, Rhode Island. It's go for the entire fleet.
A lo largo de la etapa 8 parecía que Tim Brunel había empezado a encontrar su ritmo. Junto a los líderes de la provisional, Don Von Reisteen, el equipo holandés dominaría la etapa hacia Newport solo para ser superado por Mafre en el último momento. Brunel se había quedado tentadoramente cerca de otra victoria de etapa, el único consuelo que había anotado más valiosos puntos.
I think we're still properly in contention. Of course, the loss over here was a loss of 2 points. It would have been nice the other way around, but we know there's 3 legs to go. We've seen stranger things happening in sailing, and it's not over until we are in The Hague.
La etapa 9 entre Newport y Cardiff en Gales era la última de larga distancia de la regata. El sprint transatlántico ofrecía además la última oportunidad de obtener doble puntuación y en cuanto la flota se adentró en el Atlántico, Tim Brunel volvía a ponerse en cabeza.
Taking the southerly route and the 2 red boats took the northerly route, so ideal scenario for us because if the southerly route is paying off, that means that we beat the 2 red boats.
Massive split 24 hours into this leg. It's a little bit of a worry that Brunel's got separation from us. It's just one of those things, you've got to sail the wind you've got, and we've done that, and we'll have to just wait and see how it sort of plays out through this lighter transition.
A medida que subía el viento, lo hacían las velocidades de los barcos, creando condiciones casi perfectas para recorrer grandes distancias.
It's fast and furious, speeds in the mid-20s. We've got some good fast drivers on board and who like to send it, and this is the perfect conditions for that.
5 de los 7 equipos batían el récord de distancia recorrida en 24 horas de los VO65, pero iba a ser Tim Axonobel el que establecería un nuevo récord.
With such a pace, that you can hardly keep open your eyes, and then big waves breaking over the deck every time you do a nosedive. After 4 hours watch, you're inside. You just look at each other to your watch parties like that was insane. That was just out of this world. We did 158 miles in 6 hours, and that's basically when I realized we're probably going to set a record here.
Simon Timpont y su tripulación también habían batido el récord absoluto establecido por el más potente Volvo 70, logrado por el Ericsson 4 de Torben Grael en la edición 2008-2009. La nueva cifra a batir eran 602 millas y media.
Last record in the Vol Ocean race had been for my father,
So now we have some things to talk on the dinner table.
Team AkzoNobel había sido el barco más rápido, pero iba a ser Bauer-Bekin el que se llevara la victoria de doble puntuación en Cardiff. Tim Brunel parecía imparable y lo que había sido un duelo 2 por el trofeo ahora se convertía en una batalla a 3.
Brunel is very good since a few legs. They gain confidence. They have nothing to lose also, so they were very aggressive. It's going to be a nice fight, I think.
Donfen is 1 point ahead, and Brunel is right back 2 points behind us. So 3 of us are now fighting all the way to the end for this Volvo. When we left Newport, we knew there was one task, and that was actually beating Dongfeng and Mafra over the line, because then the chance was still open. Mission accomplished in that sense.
Los tres equipos sabían que un buen resultado en la penúltima etapa entre Cardiff y Gotemburgo iba a resultar esencial para mantener vivas sus aspiraciones de victoria. La relativamente corta etapa de 1.300 millas resultó intensa desde la misma salida, con múltiples cambios de liderato. Una escena dramática a medida que la flota rodeaba la impresionante costa de Irlanda antes de poner proa al extremo norte de Escocia. Pese a ocupar la última posición en la baliza de mitad del recorrido, Brunel protagonizaría una increíble remontada, volando literalmente por el Mar del Norte para superar a todos sus rivales.
Well, Brunel came from behind. Obviously, they had an edge, and that's why they passed not only us, they passed Axel first, then Donfen, and then they came all the way to us. It is worrying, of course, it is worrying.
Tim Brunel había protagonizado una remontada de asombrosas dimensiones en solo 4 etapas, ahora igualados a puntos con Mafre y Don von Reistin.
We knew what we had to do to have a chance for the overall lead, and that was first of all beat the 2 Redbirds. Of course, they will be thinking, why in the hell is it possible that Yellowbird is coming from being so far behind and now actually equal on score? Of course, that makes them wonder. So in that sense, I'm really confident, and I think we can win it.
Las apuestas estaban en todo lo alto. El que ganara de los 3 primeros en la última etapa determinaría qué nombre iba a ser grabado en el trofeo Volvo Sunrace. En las últimas reuniones previas a la salida, los directores de Mafre y Don von Reistin hicieron lo posible por transmitir confianza a sus deportistas y diseñaron un plan para batir a Tim Brunel, que obviamente había encontrado una marcha extra.
Let's face it, we're not very good to keep the pressure. So we're an outsider, it's great. Knowing that Brunel is arriving in a hometown, so we have to beat them.
I think Shabby and the rest of the crew are, better at handling these sort of high pressure situations than the other team. So I'm comfortable that going in with equal points, and we've got as much chance of anybody coming out on top.
Of course, it's probably top of my career, and maybe the last time I will be in such good position to win, so we have to give everything. And that's what we are going to do all together, because we all know that maybe this is the only opportunity in our life we have to win the Volvo.
After 45,000 miles of racing, for the first time in round the world history, 3 teams have one final leg to go to decide who will be crowned the winner. There goes the gun.
La última etapa constaba de solo 970 millas entre Gotemburgo y La Haya vía una baliza en el puerto de Aarhus, en Dinamarca. Después de 600 millas de intensa competición, los archirrivales Mafre y Donfong se mantenían enzarzados en un duelo, intercambiándose la primera y la segunda posición. Tim Brunel no estaba lejos. Por delante les esperaba el último obstáculo en una batalla de 9 meses y 45.000 millas náuticas, una serie de zonas de exclusión que debían evitar. Las opciones tácticas eran rodearlas por tierra o mar adentro. Para el trío de cabeza iba a representar la decisión estratégica más importante de toda la regata.
We've chosen a path inshore, so it's a lot of very tricky navigation. We've got all sorts of sandbanks and traffic separation schemes, and some very changeable weather. It's going to be an interesting night.
I just went to see Pascal and say, "What do you think?" He said, "We go east." I'm sure the other ones are not going. Say it's not possible. Why they come with us and now they are going to change their mind? I don't know. We say we will see. And the next schedule, everybody was west and we were east.
El equipo chino había tomado una calculada pero valiente decisión. Charles Taidon Plastic y Scallywag fueron los únicos en imitarles. Mafre y Tim Brunel había preferido permanecer al oeste y mar adentro. Cuando volvieran a converger, descubrirían quién había acertado y se llevaba la victoria.
We were lining up to go on the inside, sort of down to Germany and across the beaches across the top of Holland. We made a late call to go to the west, and
In doing so, we split from Dongfeng, who were carrying on down.
We're a little bit surprised that Mafra came our way, and that actually gave us a bit of confidence even. And we just thought, okay, we believe in what we think is the right. You make a choice to be the right choice.
The last weather model came with, telling us where we were. It was better to go west, even if it was a little bit late. And Brunel was in the other side anyway, so we decided to come up and go the other route.
That is a bit crazy. We are sailing than 9 months, racing than 9 months, and it's only the 40 last miles of the last leg is going to decide who is going to win the Volvo Ocean Race.
En el último parte de posiciones de la etapa y de la regata, el Mafre iba en cabeza. Team AkzoNobel y Team Brunel le acechaban y Dongfeng Race Team iba cuarto.
We are 7 miles behind and there is only 20 miles to go for them. So if you do a quick calculation, you say, wow, it's too much and we need to be 30% faster. So I wake up everybody and I tell, guys, you have 2 hours now to win the Volvo.
Todo se decidiría en función de quién llegara en cabeza a una baliza de convergencia situada a 5 millas de la meta de La Haya. En la aproximación ni los propios regatistas podían adivinar quién iba por delante.
We can sort of see something through the binoculars, but we're not entirely sure, and we've got no idea how it's going to pay out.
There was so much boat in the water that each time we see 3 mats close together, 3 dark lines, so Mari will say, is there? Say, it's not possible, I don't. They must be maybe ahead, but not so far.
Yeah, that's them, 100%.
It was probably the worst moment of the race. You know, we raced with so much intensity these last 3 days. We still kept the hope. We had less than 10 miles to the finish.
Dongfeng bearing 76 in front.
Dongfeng in front?
Yep.
Everyone?
Everyone. Didn't go right.
We just knew that they would be ahead of us. So yeah, it was like, this is over, boys. No chance. Let's just try to catch Mafra again.
You know, you could see how pretty much the world was ending for everyone and just pretty much give up for the last 2 hours of racing. Of course, try to keep Brunel behind us and just deliver the boat to the harbour was pretty hard. Yeah.
An historic finish to an exceptional journey. Victory in the Volvo Ocean Race goes to China. It goes to skipper Charles Codrelier and his team. It goes to Dongfeng Race Team.
Charles Codrelier y su Dongfeng Race Team habían ganado la llegada más igualada y competida en la historia del evento. Increíblemente lo hacían anotando su única victoria de etapa. Habían logrado su objetivo, convertirse en el primer equipo chino en ganar la Volvo Ocean Race. Caroline Brauer, Marie Rieu y Justine Metreau se convertían en las primeras mujeres que ganaban la regata.
The last 9 months, never win a leg, always in good position at the start and fail. And as a skipper, it was really tough. I'm not sure I've been the best skipper, but I'm sure I've been the best team around me. I had a good feeling. I said, it's not possible. We can't lose. And we win.
I'm not sure we'll have a finish like that in the future. And it has involved so much people, so much time, so much energy that I don't think I will be able to give so much to a team another time. So I'm not sure it will happen again.
El Mafre, liderado por Xavi Fernández, había llegado a la regata como uno de los favoritos. Llegaron a acariciar la victoria, pero su sueño de protagonizar una victoria española se había esfumado.
The result is hard for us. It's very harsh and hurts. I think we've done a lot of things good. That's why we have to be happy and proud. But of course we have done mistakes too, and that's why we didn't win.
Bauer Bekin había intentado la victoria por 8ª ocasión, protagonizando una remontada en el tramo final de la regata que cerca estuvo de hacerle alcanzar su sueño. La 3ª posición absoluta era un logro muy respetable, pero no el premio por el que el veterano regatista holandés se había anotado.
There's winners and there's losers, and there's clearly only one winner, and the rest behind that are losers. So it's pretty harsh, but that's how it is. I can't change it.
Simon Timpont y Team AkzoNobel se quedaban a un paso del podio, firmando la 4ª posición, mientras la perseverancia premiaba a Vestas y Leventhauer Racing con un 5º puesto final. Empatados en última posición terminaban Charity Plastic y Sun Hunkai Scallywag. La última regata import disputada en La Haya ejercería de desempate y la victoria de Dick Afari permitía a su equipo terminar su campaña sexto, dejando la séptima plaza para los Scallywags. Para todos los regatistas, completar el recorrido les convierte en parte de un legado que perdura desde 1973. Fue más que una simple competición. Puestos a prueba por los océanos de todo el mundo y los extremos de la naturaleza, ahora comparten un vínculo que los unirá para siempre.
That's the Volvo Ocean Race experience. That will bond you for life with a group of people like no other will.
You have the whole team behind you and doing it together. And I think that is the key element of this race, and that's what makes this race unique.
The shared sort of emotional experience brings you closer together. You create bonds and friendships that are going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, this race pushed me more on the edge emotionally than physically, for sure, yeah.
I don't want to do this race if it's not at that level of where you're at the end of what you've got to give.
There is no doubt that this race changes your life. You are a different person by the end of it, for sure.
It inevitably changes you, as a person, mentally, physically. There's nothing like it.
I will regret doing this race for the rest of my life. Because it's cost Fishy's life, no doubt. But I think when we finally get to the end, I'll be pretty proud about it too, I think.